there, weavers, welcome back. This is Grace with Tangled Webs Weaving, and we are starting on the wrap on our 2-for-1 warp. The warp for this project is a 8/2 cotton, and the first part of the project was weaving towels in the 8/2 cotton. The second part of this project is weaving a wrap that uses the same pattern and the same warp, but using this Tussa silk hand dyed in this beautiful blue. As you can see, I have a 9-inch fringe allowance. I have done an Italian hem stitching along the entire width of the warp, and I have done that in bouts of 5. This whole pattern is based on multiples of 5, so that's why we did that in the 5. So we're going to go ahead and start weaving. I did 4 picks of plain weave and did the hem stitching. Now I'm going to do the patterning. The patterning is exactly the same as for the towels, and that is a huck spot. Now we're going to, let me double check the set and make sure that it's the same set. Yes, we're going to be doing 16 picks per inch. So that makes it a lot easier. I know what my beat is with that. Well, I know what it is with the cotton. I'm not sure with the silk. As you can see, I am using my end feed shuttle. I might have to adjust a little bit. Because it looks like it's pulling a little tight. So let me grab my little tool. So with an end feed shuttle, you have this tensioning device right here that the yarn, I'm not sure you can see that, the yarn goes through this tensioning device and provides drag. And I think that the last yarn that I used was, oh, that's better. The last yarn that I used was smaller than this, so I needed to loosen up the tension a little bit. All right, that's 4, 3. I might need to go a little bit tighter. Yes, just a little bit. So this is just one of the things that you need to kind of do with an end feed shuttle is adjust that tension based on the yarn that you're using. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's a notch. So now I'm going to check my beat. Not quite, I haven't done quite an inch. One. right where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, I need to be a little bit softer, which just seems seems like I'm not beating at all. I am placing. And I have a little knot right there. So I need to pull this back and kind of pull this notch out. So the Tussa silk does tend to kind of knot on itself, and I need some tweezers. There we go. That's not right. We're going to check our beat again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so I need to be just a little bit harder. Is it challenging to get the right beat until you kind of get the feel for it. I'm going to tighten this up just a tad. Oh, well, that's not right. So I finally got down to the end of the warp, and here I am cutting it off. And as you can see, there's a plaid there, and I decided to weave, I had some extra warp, so I decided to weave a sampler to play around with it. So I left a nice long 9-inch allowance for the fringe, and here is the wrap pulling off of the cloth beam, and the fringe on the other end. And the previous video showed the towels. Obviously, I wove them all on the same warp. So I just did it in 2 videos, but it was all on the same warp. So I had to weave it all off and then take it all off and cut them apart. So I loved how these turned out. And I love the difference between the towels and the wrap after the wet finishing, which I will show you. And I just love how they puddle on the floor in front of the loom when I pulled them off. So, all right, weavers, we have our wrap done. So this is the same structure as the towels, and it has the same warp, but we use the silk weft. And also the finishing on it was a little bit different. With the towels, I threw them in a hot wash and dried them in a hot dryer, and they really shrunk up. They shrunk up 15%. With the wrap, I was a little more gentle with it. I did hand wash it, and I let it dry flat. I did agitate it when I was hand washing it to make sure that some of that would shrink up, and you would get the deflections that we saw in the towels. But the deflections are not as pronounced on the wrap, and it is a little more open. So let's take a close-up look at it. So here you can see the silk weft is not shrunk up as tight as when we did the towels, but you can still see some great deflection and the floats. Now this side is showing the warp floats. So let's turn it around and show you the weft floats. So you could wear it either way. And again, just like the towels, the weft floats are going to show more of the blue because that's the weft color, and that's what's showing more on top. Whereas with the warp floats, you're going to see more of the warp colors and the striping, and the silk weft is going to be a little more subdued. So in on the loom, this was 26 inches wide at the reed. Because of the structure, it ended up being off the loom a little over 23 inches. And well, under tension, I wove it to 88 inches. Off tension, it was 84 inches. I left 9-inch fringe on either end and twisted the fringe, and it ended up being a 5-inch fringe on either end. So I twisted in groups of 5, so two 5 thread groups twisted, and then those 2 groups twisted together. We had one group of 3 bouts, but I put that on the end. And so I don't know if you can even see. Let's see if I can find it. Yes. So here is the end that has the thread that I used to do the hem stitching. So I included that thread, even though it was a different color, I'd included it in this last bout, and you really can't notice that it's there. I mean, it's there, you can see it, but these others have different colored threads with them too, so it's not noticeable. So off the loom, wet finished, this ended up being 22 inches wide and 79 inches long, plus the 5-inch fringe, so 10 inches on each, or 10 inches total. That was a 7% shrinkage. So we got much less shrinkage because I didn't agitate it. Now, if I was to throw this in a hot wash and a hot dryer, it would shrink up probably another 7%. But I don't want that. I want it to be looser and very drapey. You can see how this just is like butter. So let's try it on. Okay, so here we have, so you can wear it several ways. You can wear it as a shawl, like this, which is nice for our fall days and beautiful fall colors, right? You could wear it like this and maybe keep the snow off of you for a walk in the snow if you are in a snowy area. Or you could just wear it as a very generous scarf. So I really like it. I think it turned out beautiful. Again, I'm not a big fan of the blue, but it works. I might actually do this scarf again in some different colors and try out different combinations. I hope you enjoyed watching me weave this scarf and the towels, and I hope you'll give it a try. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and happy weaving.